This example explores collecting user inputs via the HTTP post method using HTML forms. Like in the previous example, if the user visits the root of our sites, they are served a HTML document that contains a fillable form. This form contains an action attribute, which denotes where the submitted data will be sent to. It is set to be enter, which corresponds to our second path. The method is set to be post, which means that the data will be submitted not by the URL, but within the body of the message. This field hides the value inside of it from anyone looking at your screen, but does not provide any other security. When using type password, you should always use posts, because the get method embeds the data inside of the URL, which is visible to anyone looking at your address bar. The post method, however, does not provide any form of encryption. For that, you need to use the HTTPS protocol. When the client submits the form, a post request is sent to the endpoint enter. Because the data is embedded inside of the body of the message and not inside of the URL, we need to process the data stream one chunk at a time. We have a variable user input body, which will act as our storage mechanism. Request extends the type readable stream, so it has a data event. This will stream the content one chunk at a time. We take that chunk, convert it from buffer to string, and then append it to user input body. When the stream of data is exhausted, it will emit an end event. At that point, we can start to process the data. The data submitted from the user is of type query string. We can use the query string library to parse it. This will give us a variable user input that takes on the same format as the previous example, an object with properties that correspond to name attributes from within the form. In this example, we're checking to see if the value in the form field password matches the string abracadabra. If it does, we send a message welcome. Otherwise, we send a response code 403 forbidden, signaling to the client that they do not have the right permissions to view the content. Let's run this. The server is now running on port 3000. We will have our browser visit the root of the site. We can follow the request from within the network tab. Again, this is opened up by pushing Ctrl-Shift-I. The password field hides the typed value from anyone looking at your screen, but otherwise does not offer any real protection. If we click on the requests within the params tab, you can see the typed password. Notice our request generated a 403 status code. If I now type the correct password, notice we get the welcome message, as well as a 200 OK response.